You're listening to the John and Heidi Show, now featuring the wit and wisdom of Dan Farris.
Okay, dudes, let's walk this sucker.
On Sunny 93.3.
It's time for the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris, brought to you in part by the Sioux Falls Job Fair. It's coming up later this month on the 29th of January. It's a Saturday. All of the details can be found at SiouxFallsJobFair.com. Dan, how you doing, man?
Pretty darn good. You guys, small's good?
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah, we're staying warm. Staying
good.
Yes.
Okay,
So good.
You're looking good.
Well, thank you.
I feel good.
Those New Year's resolutions you guys took on seem
We're taking them seriously this year.
I think I've dropped like 93 pounds already. So. Okay, maybe not that much.
Fantastic. Remember Bonnie Franklin?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the mom of that huge hit, One Day at a Time.
Yeah, I loved that show.
Little Valerie Bertinelli.
Yeah.
And, she'd marry, that Van Halen fella. And it was
Yeah.
one thing after another. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy. Malcolm Young, born this day. Rhythm player. He's Angus's kid brother in AC/DC.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, just always his guitar fascinated me.
Yeah.
Being a really, really mediocre failed guitarist myself. It's like, here's this guy. He's one of the biggest rock and roll bands in the world.
Yeah.
And he played, it was a Gretsch Jet was the model of the guitar, actually. And he had torn two of the pickups out of it.
Oh, yeah.
So like two holes in the front of his, the thing just looked like a wreck. But, oh, man, the sound of that thing. In fact, you can get a Malcolm Young reproduction guitar
with the holes and everything.
That looks exact with every nick, dent. It's just a complete copy of that guitar. Price tag $10,000.
Woo!
Yeah, collector's edition deal. Pretty weird, huh?
We should get in the guitar breaking business.
Yeah, I guess. Malcolm unfortunately passed away. Oh my goodness gracious, it's been 7 years already.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, 4 years. Died in 2017. And let's see here, without this guy, the Back to the Future film series would have had to use a LeBaron, John Z. DeLorean, born
Yeah.
automaker. He was really something before that DeLorean deal. He was actually a GM guy.
Yeah, he was a big muckety-muck there.
Yeah, he developed like the GTO, things like that. He was good.
There's a John DeLorean story that's online, and Alec Baldwin played him in that. It's like a Netflix thing or something. It's really pretty good. It's a documentary with some scenes that are played out, but it's really kind of fascinating. That his whole life was just fascinating.
Okay.
Sorry for interjecting.
Wow.
I'll sit over on my side of the room and be quiet.
Okay.
Anytime you're ready there, guys.
See if John has anything on this little tidbit. Jump aboard the Wayback Time Machine. It was 1681. 1681, the first recorded boxing match. Christopher Monk, who happened to be the second Duke of Albemarle, England.
Oh, my.
No kidding. He pitted his butler against his butcher.
Oh, my gosh.
That's kind of cool.
And had people show up.
Oh, funny.
It's like, what were the rules?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing somebody died, and I'm guessing it was the butler.
Well, yeah, of the two, can you imagine?
But again, everything has to have a start somewhere.
Yeah.
And according to historians, this was the first recorded boxing match.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. All righty, what else we got going on? Holy cow, 1975. It's been around that long. Wheel of Fortune debuts on NBC.
Oh, is that when it started?
Really?
1975.
Was Pat Sajak the original
Oh,
host?
yeah.
Was not. Original
Okay.
host
Oh, he
was...
wasn't? I thought he was.
Nope, Chuck Woolery.
Oh, I love Chuck Woolery.
It was Chuck Woolery and the letter spinner lady Susan Stafford.
Wow.
Sajak would take over in 1981.
And then he took a little hiatus because he did the Pat Sajak show.
Yeah.
You know who hosted it during that time?
I don't.
Don't watch
M.G.
the show.
Kelly, who does the radio programs with us on the weekend.
Holy cow. I
Yeah.
think there were a couple other fill-ins, too.
And before he hosted, he was the announcer. He'd be the one that says, ladies and gentlemen, Pat
Right.
Sajak. And then after Pat Sajak came back, he got fired from the whole thing. How much would that suck? Like, all right, I'm going to go do a radio show.
There should be a documentary.
There should be. And Alec
Probably
Baldwin could
is.
play.
I bet he's seen it.
Yeah, and give John a little something to do through these cold winter months.
Oh, they say this because they love me.
And in
Or maybe they don't.
1979, and I had to live through all this in real time. The gift that keeps on giving, the Village People's YMCA.
Oh, yeah?
It's number one. At its peak, that thing was selling over 150,000 copies a day.
No kidding.
It was just crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely
It's still pretty
crazy.
popular.
Yeah, well, it's fun to stay at the YMCA. They have everything for men to enjoy. You can hang out with all the boys.
Nice.
Wow. It took America several years to catch on to what was going on there. Boy, howdy.
I don't know how we didn't see that right away. You think it was pretty obvious.
Oh, it's all in good fun. It just is. Now, I know, you know, and we can just forge ahead.
We are going to do exactly that. It's the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris, brought to you in part by the Sioux Falls Job Fair. Get all the details right away at SiouxFallsJobFair.com.
Aloha! Are you ready to enjoy a little slice of paradise? GMDVacations.com is a family-owned, professionally managed vacation rental in sunny Kauai, Hawaii. Your family will absolutely love the area, and the vacation rental has room for up to 6 guests. Why stay in hotel rooms when you can have your own area at a vacation rental from GMDVacations.com? Visit Hawaii with us and make your trip to this tropical paradise one to remember. On Facebook and Instagram, online at GMDVacations.com.
Time now for a bright spot of news brought to you by Paul's Designer Showroom on Lake Lorraine and Sioux Falls. They can brighten any room with a beautiful light fixture, and we are going to brighten your day with some positive news. We've got the Snow Jam Comedy Festival coming up. It is January 19th and 20th and 21st and 22nd. It's going to be here before you know it. And on the line right now, I've got one of my comedians, Sasha. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Great to be on the show.
And you're coming all the way from Madison, Wisconsin. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Bright and sunny, global warming Madison, Wisconsin.
Now, so you're certainly going to be used to the weather that we get around here. But the funny thing is, there are some of the comics that are coming from like Miami and Los Angeles, and they get here, they're not going to know how to act at all.
Not at all. You know, I actually work, my day job is in medical schools and surgical training, and I'm just a researcher. I'm not a doctor, but I work in initiatives to increase diversity in medical education. And one of the biggest problems is actually getting kids who, you know, they grow up in LA or they grow up in Florida and they end up getting into a place like Yale or Princeton or Harvard, and then they move to Boston or Rhode Island or whatever, and they don't even know about coats. They're just like there with their flip-flops, and October rolls around, and they're like, I didn't even know there were shoes that had closed toes. You know, it's like crazy.
Yeah, that would be, I suppose that'd be a huge shock coming from, you know, where it's nice and warm all the time to the cold stuff. So, well, let's talk a little bit about you, and let's talk about your stand-up comedy career. How long have you been performing stand-up comedy?
I'm a little green. I've been writing for a long time, but I was very anxious to get on stage. I did stand-up comedy for the first time in February of 2019.
Oh, wow.
And but I've been writing jokes as Poop Scruffin' for You on Twitter for like 5 years prior, and that I think gave me kind of like an accelerated program for comedy because I had this huge backlog of jokes. So once I got over the nerves, I was able to go up and just tell my horrible, dirty jokes.
And if people that are planning to come out and see you, what kind of comedy, like how would you describe your style of comedy?
My style is definitely a little bit on the shock factor level, kind of raunchy, kind of dirty. And it sort of started shifting more into getting into my weird life. I am a half Russian woman who has been investigated by the FBI and has had cancer and has an ex-husband, and it's just a lot of drama. It seems like it was made for TV, but I figured I would just make jokes out of it. So it's kind of shifted from like dirty one-liners to let's talk about how weird I am.
There's a lot going on there. Yeah, it's a lot to unpack. I look forward to hearing it, and I look forward to meeting you coming up here in just a few weeks now. Have you been to Sioux Falls before, or will this be your first time here?
You know, if I have, it was long enough ago that I don't really remember it. I think I might have been 10. I've been to the Corn Palace before. Where is that?
That's in Mitchell. Yeah, so you probably drove through here to get there.
Yeah.
Were you super impressed by the Corn Palace?
Honestly, I was super into it. Like my parents and I went through the Midwest, and they're like, here's Chicago. It's full of big, beautiful buildings. There's culture. And then we get to the Corn Palace, and I was like, this is where I want to be. So, yeah.
I grew up in a town just north of there that was like the rival, so I like to rib the Corn Palace a little bit, but it is pretty darn cool.
Really? Where are you from?
I'm from north of there in a town called Huron, But and a lot of the rest of the state likes to make fun of Huron, so it's it's my job to make fun of Mitchell every chance I get. Then
of course. Do you all have like a corn castle? Do you have another?
No, we've got a giant fiberglass pheasant in Huron. That's what we've got. So
I love that.
and it's a couple hours away. So while you're here, if you guys want to make a little detour up there, you could. But you'll probably be a little disappointed. So. Well, I'm excited
that's the kind of stuff I really like.
I'm excited to have you in Sioux Falls for the Snow Jam Comedy Festival. Thank you for taking the time to chat with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
If people would like to find you online to like follow you for your social media stuff, do you have that on a website or is that on like a social media page?
Yeah, I'm Sasha Rosser on Instagram. It's ROSSER. And on Twitter, I'm also Sasha Rosser, but where I post jokes and horrible things is called Poop Scruffin' for You, the number 4, the letter U.
That just makes me laugh. All right.
Excellent. That's what I'm here to do.
Thank you so much. You have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
And again, we've got the Snow Jam Comedy Festival. It'll be here before you know it. It's coming up January 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd. All of the details at snowjamcomedyfest.com.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. This is a great quote from Wayne Gretzky and from Michael Scott. At InsuranceChicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and it's free. Take a shot. We may be able to save you money each and every month. We'd love to help at InsuranceChicken.com. We want to help you peck out great deals on insurance at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
And now stuff Dan finds interesting. Yeah.
It is time for Stuff Dan Finds Interesting. Dan, what do you find interesting on this wonderful day?
We cleared the hurdle on Christmas.
Yeah.
There's still a lot going on, the gift thing, and this just strikes me as a terrible business model, but here's what's going on with returns.
Oh.
It's returns. Now, keep in mind, gifts bought online and given to somebody, on average, 3 out of every 10 gifts bought online are returned.
Oh, really?
Oh.
But the cost to companies receiving returns has jumped up huge in the past year.
The companies?
For instance, returning, here's the thing, it costs money to accept returns.
Okay.
Okay, those things, it's got to be filed, things have to be documented, things have to be restocked, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, depending. And then refunds have to go out. It's not free
Right.
to do that. The company incurs costs to do that. For instance, right now, today, after this Christmas, returning a $50 item is going to cost that company an average of about $33.
Holy cow.
That's up almost 60% from just a year ago.
Gosh.
So here's what's going on. And a lot of these this just strikes me as a horrible business model.
So you just keep it?
Keep it, and we'll send you a refund anyway. So you keep whatever it is.
Whoa.
But not in every case. I mean,
Right.
not in every case. But
And I
this,
suppose if one person's a repeat offender, they probably would say, yeah, not you.
yeah, it says, hey, people are already trying to scam this thing, and they have ways of figuring that out. But
We had a situation where we had a television that quit working,
Yeah,
and they never came to get it. They
yep.
were going to. And then they finally just said, hey, we're going to give you a refund. Just keep that TV.
Yeah, so then we had it fixed.
We had the TV fixed. And it was only $30 to have it fixed. But who
Yeah.
fixes a TV anymore?
It's hard to find.
It was hard to
Nobody.
find someone who could fix it. So
Yeah.
that was kind of crazy.
some retailers, and let's say namely like Amazon, sometimes does tell its returners, just keep it. It would cost them way too much to just process it. So,
Wow.
and we'll send you a refund. So, but this just strikes me. But then when you read more and more into what's going on with this,
Yeah.
taking those costs, what did it cost us really of that item, blah, 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 those costs will be eventually put into,
The next item.
Yep.
so
Yeah.
you're going to be paying for it somewhere around the
Yeah.
corner
There
anyway.
are some
so.
businesses that actually get Amazon returns, and then they sell those.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
Like
Yeah, we've got one
whole-
in Sioux Falls.
But it's like a whole pallet full of stuff or a box
Yeah.
full, whatever. But that's where some of that stuff comes from. So I wonder if they're like a middleman for some of this stuff. And maybe they even discovered it's cheaper to not even do that. I don't know. It's
Well,
weird.
it does briefly kind of mention when you're talking about it. It says online items that are returned are often discarded, donated, or repurposed for sale through an alternative route.
Yep,
Yeah,
there you
and
go.
they
So
give them.
that's what you're mentioning.
Yeah, they buy the pallets for $200 or whatever,
Right.
and then they sell the pieces out of there. So crazy stuff. Well, Dan, thanks for bringing that up, man.
Yeah, I was
also
reading that.
find
I'm
it
going,
interesting.
Well, that's something. So, yeah, if you got something you don't like, whatever, give it a shot. Maybe get some do-re-mi and keep that item, and you can put it out in the Kingsbury Rummage Sale.
There you go.
Coming up later this year. It's going to be a barn burner.
Dan, thanks for coming in, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
It is the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris, brought to you in part by the Sioux Falls Job Fair. It's sneaking right up. It'll be here Saturday, January the 29th at the Sioux Falls Convention Center. It's free for job seekers. And if you are a company looking for people, you can reach out and talk to Dan, or you can reach out and talk to me. We would love to help you get a table there. It's super affordable. All of the details at SiouxFallsJobFair.com.
In the U.S., there are 5 credit cards for every man, woman, and child. That's a lot of credit cards. And sadly, many of those are not great cards. At BetterCreditCards.com, our mission is to help you get a better credit card. At BetterCreditCards.com, we have credit cards that offer points and perks. Other cards designed to help you build your credit. See if we can help you find a better credit card at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Thursday, January 6th, 2022. Stocks pulled back Wednesday despite a much better than expected ADP report. The report says more than 800,000 new jobs were created in December, which is more than double the consensus estimate. The news is great for the economy as it means much needed positions are getting filled, and log jams in the supply chain will begin to ease. But it also means hiring. Wages are on the rise as well, and expected to accelerate in this month's NFP report. The buzz on Wall Street is that wage inflation will run in the mid-teens this year. The reason for the pullback was the FOMC minutes, which revealed a much more hawkish Fed than the market was looking for. The FOMC minutes indicate the committee could hike rates for the first time by March and begin trimming the balance sheet soon after. The yield on a 10-year Treasury advanced to an 8-month high in the news, while the NASDAQ composite shed more than 2.75% at the low of the day. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at MarketBeatMinute.com.